It is often said that Dina has a mind of her own, but she is quick to disagree. She likes chocolate and dreams of making it big. Deeply connected to her Mediterranean roots, Nina likes exercise and bread pudding. Was it just coincidence that the Caliente sisters arrived on the eve of Bella's disappearance? And is their interest in Mortimer physical or fiscal? What's up guys, Rakowski here, and today we are bringing the Caliente sisters into The Sims 3. Before we get started, if you like The Sims but not EA, this is probably a good channel for you, so please subscribe. Thank you so much. Also, I've recently started a Discord server, so I'll leave an invite link in the description box down below for that. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Wow, she is just stunning. What's up guys, I'm just here in Create a Sim. I thought maybe I would show off the Caliente sisters before we get into the build today. So this is of course Dina Caliente. She loves leopard print, dyeing her hair blonde, and wearing really expensive shoes. I also gave her a Katy Perry Sweet Treats dress for her formal outfit, but what I'm really here for is the personality. So I was kind of chatting with a few people on Discord, and we decided that she is a couch potato, a diva, she has a good sense of humor, she's a schmoozer, and she's a slob. And I think that suits her perfectly. Like, not super evil or anything, but you know, a little bit distasteful. And of course she has the gold digger lifetime aspiration. And you'll never guess who this is. This is of course Nina Caliente. So the way that I always make Nina is, first of all, I make Dina first, and then I make a twin for Nina, and then I just kind of give her a little bit more muscle and a little bit more shape. I just feel like she's a little bit more athletic, a little bit less lazy than her sister. So speaking of which, for her traits, we decided on athletic, commitment issues, great kisser, heavy sleeper, and neat. And I use custom content for Nina's hair. I only have 2 custom content hairs, and this one just suited her perfectly. And I tried to keep like their clothes similar to their Sims 2 style, so I gave her like these pink pants. I did not give her cargo pants. I was not interested in that. But I did give her the heartbreaker aspiration, so she wants to be the girlfriend of 10 different Sims. So that kind of stays in line with kind of who she is in the original game. And I may as well show you her formal outfit too. So I gave her this ugly Katy Perry Sweet Treats dress. I don't know, I just figured I may as well use it. So that's about it for The Sims. So I must warn you, this build is a little bit questionable, so bear with me and we'll see what I came up with. Welcome to the speed build portion of this video. So the inspiration for the build, I may as well explain that first, or this is gonna make no sense at all. I tried to make something that was a combination of the Sims 2 and the Sims 4 Caliente houses. So the Sims 2 Caliente house is like this stark white condo, and I usually build kind of that style for them, but once in a while I'll do a more Mediterranean build like they have in the Sims 4. I think both are really fun to build and a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I imagine trying to combine both of them. And in fact, when I was kind of Googling Mediterranean house to get some inspiration, this little cute modern tiny house popped up. I thought it was just excellent and I decided to go with that. And I kind of copied the shell like a little bit. I don't know what the back looks like. I didn't explore the floor plan or anything. I just kind of went with like the simple flat front, because this is also in Starlight Shores. A lot of the houses are quite basic here and I don't want it to stand out too much. I'm already gonna make it this salmon pink orange thing. Anyway, I decided on that color because it's kind of like Dina's yellow and Nina's red kind of combined together, but in a pretty way, because I didn't want it to be like orange. I don't think that suits either of them. And in fact, I should mention that for Nina, I always kind of skew her a little more pinkish red because I think it's a little bit more dynamic, and Dina is always like platinum blonde. So there they are on the front lawn. Nina's actually arguing with Dina because she's like, "You're lazy, you need to get a job." Well, I actually gave them enough money for them to build like a decent house. I started out with like the regular starting funds. This was gonna be a starter house, but like I said before, don't build a don't build a 2-story starter home in The Sims 3. It's not gonna go well for you. You're gonna run out of money. It's just, you're gonna have a bad time. But of course I decided to do that, and then I ended up with this. I actually like the house. It took me a long time to figure out the floor plan. I cut a little bit of that out because it was just, I wanted each of them to have a big enough bedroom for a double bed, and I couldn't get it right. And in fact, downstairs is a little bit too big. I probably should have put 1 bedroom downstairs, but I like having all the bedrooms upstairs anyway. because downstairs I couldn't even fill the space later because I ran out of money. It was one of those situations where I went too crazy with the shell. Like, I'm using a half wall for the balcony, I'm using expensive windows, I'm using like $8 wallpaper per tile, like for the outside. Like, that's like 1,000 simoleons already. So I'm not doing it in a budget way. And you can usually do it more budget if you really try, because with Create a Style, it's like, okay, I can't afford the bricks, but I can afford this paint, which I can overlay a brick texture on. So you can kind of get away with it sometimes, but I try and do it a little bit more realistically. Actually, I cheated too with the floor, because this floor is one of those 0 simoleon floors. I just colored it to more of that salmon pink I was going for. I'm not sure how I feel about it as an interior color. I'm gonna play in this house a little bit, and I'm gonna see how I feel about it, because as you know, for the outside, I thought it was really nice. I thought it was really nice for like the corners and the detail in the front. But see, now it's in a kitchen and it's on a wooden floor, and I'm not too sure how I feel about it yet. But I guess we'll have to see. I did try to change the floors to white at some point, and I didn't like it. And in fact, I do kind of use these tiles. You know, I love these tiles so much, but I do put the salmon pink in those tiles as well. But I think the tiles break it up a little bit. The bathrooms are really small. I couldn't fit. I usually like having one decent sized bathroom, especially in The Sims 3, because you can kind of make them really nice, but not in this house. It's a 2x2 one, which is downstairs there, which I almost couldn't afford the toilet in. So there's like a half bath downstairs, just 2x2. And then there's a 3x2 upstairs as like the master bath, where both of them have to bathe, and it's not gonna go well. I only have one bathtub, I don't have anything else. I was hoping to get 2 full baths, but again, it really wasn't feeling the vibe. I was trying to imagine, like, where are the Calientes at this point in their life in Starlight Shores? So I'm thinking it's like Dina has already kind of gone through Michael Bachelor's money, and like they had enough left over to have something nicer than a starter, but still not a mansion or something super nice. And after building this, they're gonna be pretty broke, and God knows Dina's not going to be working, right? It's going to be Nina pulling all the weight. So we'll have to see how that goes. So we're like halfway through the build. You can see I'm trying to start like actually getting the style down. Once I have the functionality, see, that living room is so big. I end up doing an all right job filling it up later, but goodness, I wish it was just one tile smaller, but then if the upstairs was one tile smaller, then the bedrooms would be too small, and then Dina would be on a single bed. I just don't see it happening. And I ended up giving Nina like this like pull-up bar thing, because in the Sims 2 house, she has this like workout equipment, like, you know, kind of like lifting the weights. I don't know what any of that stuff's called. I don't work out. But this thing was cheaper and it fits in the corner, and I was like, that's perfect. And I gave her like a stereo. I'm putting like an end table with a stereo on it, because that's cheaper than actually buying like the big stereo. I didn't want them to have super nice things. The one thing I'm gonna regret though is that I gave them the cheapest beds. So that's kind of like something I do when I'm doing like more of like a struggle challenge, and I do kind of want the Calientes to struggle. So they have double beds because they need them for woohoo and stuff, but the trade-off is they're only like energy 2 or energy 3 or something, so it's not gonna go too well if you're trying to get them rested to try and get them to work the next day, or to get like any of their aspirations fulfilled. Yeah, so I translated the salmon pink into the bathroom tile, and I don't know how I feel about it. I didn't turn the toilet salmon pink or anything. I didn't even try that because I knew I would hate it. So I thought the tile was just enough, and I wrapped it around the bathtub to like, you know, try and make it nice. But again, I'm still kind of digesting it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is a color I'm not comfortable with. I've never used before, and there's a couple items in The Sims 4 that are this color, and I love using those items. There's like a base game couch that's in this swatch, and I think like one end table or something, but I do like it. So I thought with Create a Style, I can explore more colors and use things that are a little bit outside of my comfort zone. And I wanted to use something a little bit orangey and beige because that's a little bit more Mediterranean, but keeping it modern. And I don't know, I haven't seen this color around, so maybe it's super modern or maybe it's super out of date. I'm not 100% sure which. Sometimes it's like a little bit harder to know if something is right or wrong when you do it. When someone else does it, it's so easy to be like, no, right? But like when you do it, you're like, it's so ugly, it might be pretty. It's probably not pretty. Just like, you know, maybe change it up a little bit. I don't know, I stuck with it, we'll see. It was really hard finding carpets. I struggled a lot on the carpets because all 3 rugs looked completely different and didn't go together at all, and I tried to modernize them, and then they ended up looking too modern or too, like, look at that isometric golden cubes. I tried to go for that. Maybe I leave it, I don't remember. Maybe I do. No, I don't. I change it to this. I like this a lot better. It at least looks like Burberry or like expensive. But yeah, like I wanted like a pink one to go underneath Nina's workout equipment. That was starting to look a little bit weird. I wanted one underneath the dining table. That still looks weird. I think I gave up on that. They can always buy a new one later. Then I started looking for decorations, and then that's when the bedrooms finally started to have some personality. Okay, so there's something that I need to tell you. I used Katy Perry's end tables in the build. I'm sorry, I tried. First of all, I tried to use more Katy Perry than I ever should have even tried to use, but I ended up being able to use those end tables. I painted every swatch white and every swatch black to see what it looked like. It still has pink candy cane stripes on it, no matter which creative styles you choose. So I decided to go for white because I think it hid them more, and it just looked like a little bit more Dina. I want Dina to have like everything white and crisp and clean and fancy, and then she's just gonna cover it in filth because she's such a slob, right? And then Nina's like, she has like that millennial pink walls. She has some art. She has a couple plants in her room. Oh, there's like a flower pot with like a heart growing out of it or something. That's from Katy Perry Sweet Treats too. So yeah, this is like only built with Showtime and Katy Perry Sweet Treats and the base game. I try to keep like packs limited when I actually go into like play a game so I can focus on certain aspects of the game. So for this, I thought Katy Perry Sweet Treats is only gonna go with Showtime. It's not gonna go with anything else. So this is the time to use it. It's now or never. So I guess this is my Caliente Katy Perry Sweet Treats build. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that's what I did until almost finishing the video. But here we are. I do like the outside. I was gonna keep the roof flat because the inspiration image had a flat roof, but it just wasn't really working in The Sims. So I tried to make it fancy too, but that didn't work. I just gave it like a normal roof, and I ended up like repainting the texture a little bit later. It looks a little too dark now and I don't like it. So I actually did some landscaping this time. It's super exciting because I haven't been able to afford that in any of my recent builds because I've been doing such like poverty-based gameplay. But for this, they had a little bit of extra money because I hit ka-ching. And I thought, okay, I can do these rocks. These rocks are only 5 simoleons. So like, I thought, why not use 25 of them, right? And I just used like some of the cheap bushes and the plants. Thank God I didn't use anything from Katy Perry Sweet Treats for the landscaping. I just focused on terrain paint, and I added like a tree and some shrubbery, painting the landscaping, and just kind of doing the perimeter of the house with some like sandy dirt, just to give it a little bit more of like a realistic vibe. Okay, so we're pretty much at the end of the speed build. So how about I meet you inside the game and we'll actually do a build tour and we'll see what it looks like in first person. So here we are at the gorgeous Caliente residence where they're still arguing on the front lawn. My goodness. I guess it's only been 11 minutes since I moved them in, but when I first moved them in, that's the first thing they started doing was just arguing with each other. I'm actually proud of the landscaping. Even if it doesn't fully belong in Starlight Shores, I figured I'd give them a little extra something because the house was really boxy and the shape that I was going for was just a little too basic for my taste, so I needed something to break it up. I also enjoyed putting this salmon pink bump out in the front. I'm still not sure how I feel about the color, but for now I'm enjoying it. And when you come in, you just get this gorgeous salmon tile right in your face. I think it's absolutely stunning. I also matched the lights with it. I went all out. Like I always say, if you're going for a style, you may as well go for it. So the living room is like the worst room. I'm sorry, it's too big. How'd the bookcase end up here? I think I hit Control Z and didn't realize that I undid some things downstairs, but even still, it isn't amazing, but it's also a house that they're gonna be moving out of kind of rather quickly, especially Dina. My gorgeous half bathroom that I could barely afford. Love it. I'm just gonna cut through the top here and go to the top of the stairs because I know that this is where the landing is. And we're gonna go into the upstairs bathroom. Like I said, this is the smallest bathrooms I could possibly have, and it's also the largest bathrooms I could possibly have because this house is a little too small. Nina's room is probably my favorite. This heart thing is from Sweet Treats. I'm sorry. I tried to use it as much as I could, but that's about it. I also figured that she'd be the kind of girl who'd have Kleenex on the side of her bed. Don't read too much into that. going into Dina's bedroom, I gave her leopard print. We kind of decided in my Discord that Dina's into leopard print, and I agree. So I also gave her the Katy Perry Sweet Treats nightstands, which in first person, I kind of regret, but you know what? I may as well try something new. And for some reason, I always like to end my videos going on the balcony, but I never put too much on there. So I just gave them the telescope because I figured they may as well meet some of their relatives up in space. Well, that about does it for bringing the Caliente sisters into The Sims 3. I hate Barnacle Bay, so I figured I'd bring them into a world I liked. So I picked Starlight Shores, but I think they could fit into almost any world, especially Riverview if they got back together with Don Lothario. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like and subscribe for some more Sims content. I love playing with the iconic townies, but like bringing them into different games and building them their own houses, because we all know that EA doesn't do it justice usually. And if you want to see somebody complain about ugly EA houses, I have a lot of videos on that, so stick around. Boom.